Hannah Arendt tackles one of the most baffling questions in the history of philosophy. Who are you?
In The Human Condition, this is her book from 1958, she writes about the who somebody is versus the what they are.
Karen Feldman is assistant professor of German at UC Berkeley. She says for Arendt, there is no answer to that question.
What we are is how we define ourselves as a woman, as a Jew, as a vegetarian, all the different possible identifications we could offer. Who somebody is, she writes, is revealed in the kinds of things you say and do in a political vein, in a public sphere, among other free human beings.
My name is Melissa Friedman, and I am an actor and a founding artist of Epic Theater Ensemble, one of the artists who founded a theater company in New York City that is dedicated to placing theater at the center of civic dialogue.
Friedman incorporates Arendt's thoughts about public speech and action into her theater company.
It is a way to look at something from multiple perspectives, and you see it in a human form. Whereas in a book, you see it in your own mind, but when you see people on stage battling these questions, you have a chance to watch humans grapple.
In 2004, Epic Theater produced Hannah and Martin, a play conceived by Friedman and written by Kate Fodor. It's about the affair between Arendt and her mentor, Martin Heidegger, who later joined the Nazi Party.
November 7th, 1946. Dear Sir, I find myself in an awkward position of needing to correct certain damaging statements that I made to you regarding Professor Martin Heidegger.
After the war, Heidegger was not allowed to teach or publish. Arendt spoke out against him, then met with him in 1950, not having seen him since before the war.
Something in that meeting, she went there to confront him, but something in that meeting in Germany happened where she not only forgave him, but also was the reason he continued to be published and translated all over the world.
I think she wanted to rescue this talent of thinking that she believed he had for others, that this was part of the human world, as she believes the human world is the sum of the products that human beings make, and Heidegger's thought and his books, these are part of the human world.
The play takes us back to that moment with Heidegger. In the spirit of Arendt's work, the play directly engages us in a decision.
Well, Hitler has blood on his hands. And he shook hands with Himmler, who shook hands with the Minister of Education, who shook hands with Professor Martin Heidegger, who shook hands with me. I wonder, if the hand you take is one stretched out for help, what then? A sin to take it, or a sin to refuse?
There's nothing quite like such a compelling piece of theater, when you have something that well written. But then, probably equally as compelling is the story itself, which is really interesting, a story of forgiveness and a question about what we can forgive in our society. And, politically speaking, what are we allowing in the public forum?
I think for Arendt, it's not a matter of asking others to judge us, but rather it's a matter of us making judgments ourselves. I can imagine instead a more Arendtian version being to turn to the audience and say, do you have blood on your hands? Because it's not about them judging her in this instance. It's about learning to, as she writes famously, think without banisters, learning to think and judge for oneself.
For Philosophy Talk, I'm Julie Napolin.